he's waving to Magnus, welcoming Magnus to the door.
Look who is arriving in a very chill style. Here he is, Magnus Carlsen. He needs to speed up because his game started 1 minute ago. Will he now go straight into the arena? That would be if he turns left. Looks like he will, nope. He will go into his lounge and leave his host maybe.
Doesn't seem to be in a rush, does he? Considering the game aside. Just chilled out,
Yeah, one thing we should mention is that Magnus has actually been in action already today. He played in a charity match, a solidarity match as well, Norway against the Ukraine. So he's played 4 intense games of chess against strong grandmasters already.
Wow.
Maybe feeling the effects of that.
Doing it for charity for Ukraine. He actually faced a legend in the Czech. Yeah. What was that like? If you followed the game, how did he do against Ivanchuk?
He managed to beat Ivanchuk. Actually, Ivanchuk ran out of time at the end of that game, but Magnus did end up losing 2 of his later games. So maybe not at his best time, and he went down to the good night bar where some of the Norwegian players were playing.
Yeah, I went down there and it was great setup they had there, great match. I mean, really good to raise awareness. But Magnus started with a win against Ivanchuk, which is quite impressive, but it's actually more famous for the historical value that when Magnus qualified in the candidates, his first win of the candidates to become world champion, that's when Ivanchuk was a big part of that. And it all came down to Ivanchuk Kramnik in the last game, and had Kramnik drawn or won that game, maybe Magnus wouldn't be standing here now. So it was nice to see that history come back. And of course, Chucky is a real legend. I mean, he's one of the most lovable grandmasters out there, certainly. But Magnus did lose his last 2 games there, so maybe that will affect him a little bit.
Will that affect him? He is coming now into the arena a few minutes late to face Liam Le with the white pieces. We are, of course, eager to see if Magnus Carlsen will bring some creativity to his first game with the white pieces today. And we should maybe also mention, because we did see him be kind of slow here, he has been feeling on the weather leading up to this tournament, actually been sick.
Yeah, not feeling 100% Magnus Carlsen, and that didn't affect his play yesterday, but it is hard to play chess when you're not fully there, and when your mind is on other things. So, okay, he's not looking his most energetic Magnus so far today, but once he sits down, once he gets to the arena, I'm sure we'll see some real fighting chess from both players. Liam, meanwhile, I wonder how he's feeling, just maybe impatient for the games to get started.
Well, there is an arbiter in the room. We have seen him several times as Magnus Carlsen finally entered the Oslo Esports Arena, and the arbiter will have been talking to the players to let them know. And Magnus, I think he apologizes for being late and sits down with his headset so players can listen to music. And we're finally ready to go, you guys. Debut in the Oslo Esports Cup. The match between Magnus Carlsen and Liam Le. Magnus was the white pieces in the first rapid game. No surprise.
Not pawns F3 this time, it's knight F3, because that's the opening.
He mouse slipped. He meant to move the pawn there, but he forgot. He just put the knight there instead.
One of my favourite openings, actually, just very flexible, bringing out of the knight. Now white has a selection of choices which pawn to push.
And talking about mouse slip, a lot of people actually thought that Magnus's 1f3 yesterday was actually a mouse slip. He actually intended to play this knight move, and somehow by some
serious mouse slip.
Exactly, well, you can kind of click on the square, right, and maybe accidentally, use your pawn and then, whoa, mistake. But no, Magnus had it all planned out.
Yeah, we have seen mouse slips throughout the tour, especially last season. Actually, here we do see Magnus just choosing his music, I think. The board is not out right now, so we have seen mouse slips in the past, but Magnus, he's so experienced these days with the mouse. He plays so much online chess, it's unlikely that we'll see that again. So, okay, just pushing the pawn in front of his king there. Very flexible. This is still very well-known stuff, and now, after black develops his knight, white needs to start challenging for the centre. I'm expecting white's c-pawn to push forward here.
This is a bit, e3 is not the most normal move. I know Magnus had actually prepared one e3 for one of the Olympiads, I think, isn't that right, as his main opening, but this now is going to a more well-known position.
Exactly, and one thing I've done in the past is studied Magnus Carlsen's opening, studied his games, and just looking on an opening tree that you can create by having that pool of information, he's played pretty much every first move there is, so no matter what move he's